Hello everybody, this is Howard, the Teaserking, coming to you with week number 6 of college football. I was happy the video won last week with Boise, easy winner. Just like I said, Wyoming has no quarterback and Boise's defense is as good as Wyoming's, and it was a nice, easy, no sweat 20-point win. Locks last week were funny. I hit the Rams, pretty easy. Had Michigan State under, pretty easy. And then the Philadelphia game on Sunday, it was like, it was, talk about a bad beat. It was like we got beat by a one-outer. I mean, it's under 47.5. I mean, it's nowhere near there. It goes to overtime, which, how Tennessee scored 20 points, I still don't know. I think Marcus Mariota is just a terrible quarterback. Anytime you see a quarterback, like, run more than he passes, he's not a really good quarterback. And then the only way we could lose is if you get a field goal and a touchdown and got you to 49. Anything, just end in a tie. Somebody kick a field goal. Somebody score a touchdown. And the worst part was the end of the game. I mean, it's 4th and 2. There's 5 seconds left. Kick the damn field goal. And he goes for it like it's college. This isn't to get into the top 20. This is the NFL. You never go for it when you could kick a field goal from there. He had no business going for it. Because if he misses, they lose, and everybody's going to say you had an easy field goal. So I don't like the coach who would do that. I think he doesn't know how to coach. I don't like Mariota. It was just a fluke win. And and then people go, well, you missed the lock last week. I'm going. The question is, was the lock good? And that's how you have to look at the picks. Were the picks good? The pick was great. Philly, Tennessee, and an under. If it doesn't go to overtime and get a field goal touchdown, if it's just first team that scores wins, it's a winner. I mean, it was an exact fluke. Even if Tennessee at the end kicks a field goal, if Philly holds them on 4th and 15, 3rd and 19, or they kick a field goal, it's a winner. It'd be 46. So it was a fluke that took 5 quarters to get to the over. So was it a good play? Yes. And I always compare this as an investment when people like ask me, things about it. I'm like, it's like, when you buy a stock, does it always go up? No, it goes down. Sometimes you get hammered and you gotta, wait for it to come back up. But, at the end of the day, if it's a good stock, it does. And that's what I say. You've got to play me for the whole year, because now it's just getting informative. Now I know what I'm looking out for. I've seen, what college teams are really good and what aren't really good, and what pro teams are good and aren't really good. Like Minnesota was a very strong under last year, is now an over. Kirk Cousins, he's what I thought he is. He's not clutch at all. The different teams I'm looking at. San Diego, where did their defense go? Bosa got hurt. Frisco, they're an over. I mean, so you're just looking, you've got to digest 7 new coaches. You've got to digest these new quarterbacks. I've been betting against Darnell, and I've been betting against Josh Allen, who should never be in the NFL. Did you notice as soon as he gets blitzed, he always gets sacked. He doesn't know how to escape it. He doesn't know to read it. He doesn't know how to get rid of the ball before they get there. You blitz him and he takes the sack. But you've got to watch. How good is Mayfield? I think he's very good, but I don't know that Cleveland's got a good coach. Then you look at Josh Rosen, too early to tell. So, I mean, you've got all this new stuff to digest and see and get trends, which you have no idea how to get the trends. So my point is, early in the year, I'm kind of being careful. I'm going, well, we know what we know, but we don't. There's a lot of 7 new coaches and at least 6 new quarterbacks. You got to figure out the trend on. Are they good or are they bad? Should I take them? Should I go against them? Same thing with the coaches. I thought Detroit's coach was terrible. I'm still not sold on him. But, that's what you got to watch. All these first-time coaches, are they any good? Tennessee coach, terrible coach. And I know they won, but they never. You kick a field goal and you get the tie in the pros. because you don't play 5 quarters, get a 4th and 5 at the 5 with 5 seconds left and go for it. That's insane. This is why there's 7 new coaches, because there's very, very few good coaches. You don't have a Bill Walsh, you don't have Jimmy Johnson, you don't have Chuck Noll, you don't have Vince, you don't have a lot of good ones, and there's very few good ones now. So it becomes a lot of chaos, a lot of instability. But anyway, so as we get now, I'm in week 6. I got really good data on my teams. I know who to take and who not to take. And this week I have a huge 21 unit lock, which could be a 25 unit lock. The point is, bet it big, put it in other teasers. This is the one you kind of look for and you finally get it. I've got strong teams playing weak teams with good spreads. And that's all you can ask for. Normally, you get a strong team playing a weak team and the spread's 40 points. Look at Alabama. They're laying 50 last week and they don't cover. And that's my point. But if Alabama was 20 over Louisiana and Lafayette, it's a lot. So, I mean, that's the point of it. I finally have a good favorite at a good price against a weak dog, similar to my my Boise pick last week, which I should have locked. I mean, after I thought about it and did the video, I go, that's probably a lock, because you got a bad Wyoming offense, good defense against a real hungry Boise who lost Oak State, who's had 2 weeks to prepare. They're going to kill them. That should have been a lock. And that's sometimes what you go through, too, is putting the wrong team in at the lock. And, there's a team you leave on the table that you don't pick that wins, and a team you pick that loses. So it's a hard process to get it perfect. So as I try to do every pick. So let's go to Indiana and Ohio State. Ohio State's laying 25.5, over under a 64. When I look at the game, I know Ohio State will score a lot. I'm not quite sure about Indiana against the Ohio State defense. They only put up 24 on Rutgers last week. So I'm watching the other games. So when Indiana barely beats Rutgers, and Buffalo, who I had locking against Rutgers a couple weeks ago, I start going, why didn't Indiana put up 50 points on Rutgers? What's wrong with their offense? Because they certainly should have put up a lot of points. So that's my point. So here you have what I'm looking at is Ohio State after the Penn State win should be explosive at home. I don't think Indiana can stop them. I don't know about it getting over. I think Ohio State puts up their 40, 50 points. I don't think Indiana keeps with them. 64 you can take down to 58. Probably not too bad. But I think I like Ohio State laying the 19.5, 20 points. I think that's you get them under 21. Indiana is not that strong. Let's go into the numbers to see what we want to do. So Ohio State scores 49 a game, gives up 18. Now, yes, there's a few gimme games where they played weak teams, but still their defense has given up 18, and they played Penn State 27-26. So they held Penn State to 26 points. They get 500 yards a game, 293 running, passing, 210. So they're very balanced. So it's not like if the quarterback has a bad day, they're going to struggle. They'll just pound the runners down their throats. Indiana, they score 28 a game. They give up 21. So they don't really score a lot. Their defense is it's okay, but 21. And they only get 387 a game in offense. They throw for 200. They run for 179. Not really exciting. So let's go into the numbers. Ohio State. Now, Ohio State's been very impressive against the number. They're 8-2 as a home favorite, 16-3 overall. This is 2017 and a few games of 2018. And Indiana is 2-1 as a road dog, 3-0 against. Oh, excuse me. So they're 12-4 against, and they're 10-6 with. Again, it's nothing Um, Nothing too dramatic. They're apparently not a road dog. They kind of go into all segments. They're home favorite 4 times. They're road favorite 5 times. They're home dog 4 times. So Indiana, plays various levels. But on the road, they're 7-1 against since 17 season. If we go back to the 16 season, Indiana's 5-2 as a road dog, 5-2 against. Ohio State is 13-4 as a home favorite, 8-9 against. And most of Ohio State's, they're laying a lot of wood at home. They've never been a home dog. And one of their losses is to Texas. They might not have covered against Penn State, so the better teams is probably where they don't cover. If we look at the quarterback play, Dwayne Haskins throws for 292 a game, 19 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. He's only been sacked 4 times. When we go to Indiana, Peyton Ramsey only throws for 207, 8 touchdowns, and 5 interceptions. So he throws a lot of picks. He doesn't score a lot, and he's been sacked 6 times for minus 25. So you look at it like, well, this guy, he scores a little bit, but he turns the ball over a lot. That's what I like Dwayne Haskins, 19 touchdowns, 2 picks. He gets touchdowns for you, and he doesn't turn the ball over for you. Trace McSorley, 10 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. David Blau, Purdue, 7 touchdowns, 1 interception. That's what you're looking for. Rutgers, the reason I lock against them as much as possible is Arthur Sitkowski, 96 yards, 2 touchdowns, 8 interceptions. This guy, he's going to give up points more than he's going to score. So that's the big thing I look for in a lock is specifically that. I'm looking for that kind of stuff. So there you go. There's your quarterback comparison. Overall, I just think Ohio State, they need the game. They're at home. Yes, they beat Penn State, but I don't think Urban Meyer has a tendency, like some of these teams, that they're flat the next week, and we've seen that. I don't think, once you get in the conference, Ohio State knows they got screwed last year. They should have been in it, but they went to Iowa and lost by 50 points, and it cost them, and they couldn't make the playoffs, so they're not going to make that mistake again. So they're not going to be flat against an average Indiana team that they should beat and will beat. This is what they play for, and they'll just dominate, and they'll score day and night and put up 50 points. Indiana might get in the 20s, so it could be an over. But I look for Ohio State. It's one thing with Urban Meyer and I noticed it with Jim Tressel before. They always knew what the number was. So they're laying 28, and they're up 24 in the 4th, and they push across that last touchdown to cover the point spread. So I know this is what Ohio State likes to do. Alabama doesn't do that. Saban will not, like last week, they're up 49 or something, laying 48 or whatever, 49, and they're up like 50-some points. And the other, Louisiana Lafayette scores 20 points in the end, and they win by 42, not covering the 49. Urban Meyer would have scored a couple more touchdowns and covered, and that's the big difference. That's why it's hard betting Alabama. You tend to bet them in a bigger game, like LSU laying 7 to lay down to 1, they're going to win, and some of these other games. But when it comes to these 30-point lines, Alabama doesn't seem to cover them. They kind of get up and rely, they'll score, put up 30 points and then kind of run the ball, and then for some reason their defense, they let up points, and it ends up being not, they don't cover. So you got to be careful with Alabama. But anyway, so that's what I'm looking at. So you have this huge 21-unit lock going Saturday, another 11-unit lock, which I love very much. These picks this week jumped off the page at me. Normally I'm doing all sorts of research, but I've done so much research through the year, and I'm getting real familiar with most of the teams. There's a few in the Sun Belt that I might not be. Like, I know App State's really good, and Arkansas State scores a lot. But I just, like, I saw, like, Ohio State, and I saw the lock. I saw one team, I go, that's my lock. And I'm looking for the other lock, and then I found it, and I said, okay, oh, here's a nice cheap spread. Boom, there's the lock. And so that was it. And then I'm like, well, how many units should, and then I was going to put them in 2 teasers. And I said, no, I mean, I got the teams, just make it a bigger teaser. And that's really how I came up with it. I do have them in multiple teasers, but I just love this lock. Well worth it. And, again, a lock is my highest confident game. I think they're going to, some games you're just not, like Ohio State, I'm not 100% confident on that they're going to cover. I was pretty confident on Boise last week. Like I said, probably should have been a lock. But, certain games I just I think they should win. It's a good pit. It's pocket queens, so I'm going to play it. But I'm not, if an ace flops, I lose. So you've got to be cognizant of that. But that's how I'm looking. So the lock is that pocket aces that, okay, I'm all in with this one. And that's kind of what I'm doing. So, yeah, I mean, they don't all win. Of course not. I wish they all did, and we'd all be rich, and off we go. But they're all good plays. They're all, you can see my numbers behind and everything else. So it's done with the utmost intention that these are my strongest plays of the week. But some weeks, again, you have pocket 10s as your best hand, and then some weeks you get the pocket aces. So this is that week. I'll probably lock a pro game. I'm still studying that, but I'm so excited about the college, so I want to get that out. So anyway, take Ohio State. The locks are $75. You get 14. You get 2 locks, 4 teams in multiple teasers, and I'll probably have 6. I'll probably have pros. So this should be a very, very big week. That's all I can say is these are really strong picks, and I really love them. Really can feel them. So anyway, have a good weekend. www.teaserking.com. I look forward to hearing from you, and have a great weekend, and enjoy the locks, everybody. Take care.